like I said, I think this should be generally taught when we do a squared plus b squared equals c squared, the Pythagorean theorem. I'm sure most of you guys have seen that number 3. That just means what? The square root of 33. All right? And when they ask the square root of 33, that's just saying what two numbers multiplied together equal 33. Now, believe it or not, there are no two the same numbers multiplied together to equal the square root of 33. And that's why, in many respects, we call it an irrational number. All right? And an irrational number is just simply a number that can't be written as a fraction. All right? Today, what we're going to do is we're going to try to show you how to convert from radicals to exponents. All right? Radicals to exponents. All right? So, for the example, number 1, 12 to the 1/2 power. Now, what I want you to try to write down somewhere, all right, is that 2 represents the root and 1 represents the exponent. All right? So if I'm going to convert from an exponent to a radical, what that means is this represents the square root of 12. Now, how does it represent the square root of 12? Well, there is an understood 2 right out here. All right? There's an understood 2. All right? And this exponent is a 1. This exponent is a 1. Now, for a radical, it is not necessary to put the 2 there, just like it's not necessary to put the 1 as that exponent. I'm simply showing you that if you have 12 to the 1/2, that the numerator represents the power and the denominator represents the root. All right? So in this problem on question number 2, and just let me do a couple of them and you'll see, very simple. You'll see, very simple. All right? This x is the only thing that's being raised to the 1/2 power. All right? The 3 is not to the 1/2 power. So the 3 would be on the outside of the square root. All right? The 3 would be on the outside of the square root. All right? Now, again, it's not much math right now. It's not much math. It's just you have to be able to convert from what we say is an exponential form to a radical form. That's all. All right? Now, if we're looking at question number 3, you're now going from a radical to an exponent. You're going from a radical to an exponent. Give me 1 minute. This would be written as 33 to the 1/2 power. 33 to the 1/2 power. Yes. Well, because again, there is an understood 2 here, and 33 is to the 1st power. So 1 is the numerator, and 2 is the what? Is the denominator. Yes, ma'am.
On number 2, why didn't you put the 2 on the 1?
You can. Go ahead, put the 2 in the 1. Totally fine. It's just not necessary. It's like when I write the variable x. I don't put a 1 there and a 1 there. You with me on that? The square root is the one where one of the only times that a 2 is understood. It's not a 1. Yes?
So is the 2 like the understood 2? Is that basically like the root?
That's what that means. All right? And that tells you how many times you're multiplying to get that number. All right? And we're going to get down here in the bottom and you'll see better examples. But right now, number 4. Now for number 4, it would just be, because both of them are under the radical sign, you need parentheses. So it would just be 8n raised to the what power? 1/2. All right? Now, I'm just going to give you some more examples because I don't think they gave you enough examples. If I said, for example, this, what is that the same as? Now, by the way, this means the fifth root. All right, so if I had to write this as an exponential, we'd write it as x to the what power? Come on, somebody tell me. That's exactly right. It's that simple. All right, so all there is to it. All right, the exponent is the numerator and the root is the denominator. That's all there is. All right, so if I said something like the 8th root of x to the 9th power, what would that be? You want to give it a shot? That's how simple it is, guys. X to the 9/8. That's all there is to it. That's it. All right. The root is the denominator, and the exponent is the numerator. All right. When you get to advanced math, like eventually you guys will be taking calculus when you get to high school, we just don't write radicals anymore. All right. Nobody writes the square root. All right. They write it as a exponent. All right. It's just easier. That's why they do that. All right. So now, I want to show you several things with your calculator. So please take out your calculator. All right. Everybody needs to pull up their calculator so I can show you something super cool on your calculator. We're going to do the cube root of 512. So the first thing you do is you hit math. And under one of the sections, you can see the cube root. So you would hit 4, I believe. And now you type in 512. Hit the math, 512. You see what I'm saying? And then do 5. Now, what is the answer? 8. Now look, if you didn't get 8, I just want to know. All right? Is everybody getting 8 on that? Does everybody understand me? Now look, I'm just trying to show you how to use your calculator. It's not a big deal. You guys all good with 8? You okay, Kate? All right. So the answer was 8. Now, the next thing I want you to do, guys, is look here. Look up. I want you to write, that's the same as 512 to the 1/3 power. 512 to the 1/3 power. So now I want you to type in on your calculator 512 and then hit the caret button. And then 1 divided by 3. The caret button is this button right here. You get the same thing. That's what I'm trying to show you. There's definitely options. The caret is this one right here. That raises it to the power.
Oh,
You get 8 again. So there's multiple ways of doing this. Colin, are you with me? Mm-hmm. All right. Does anybody have any issues? You okay? You know what you're doing? Okay. Now, the last thing I want to show you guys, here you go. Listen up, please. All right, you guys listening? All right. Now, the next thing I want everybody to do is I want you to hit 3. Type the number 3 in. Then I want you to hit math. Then I want you to go down to where it says root x, which is 5. And then type in 512. And you see what it did? Hit enter. It created the root for you. Do you understand that? All right? Did anybody have any issues with that? What?
it didn't know one before.
Yes, it did. There are how many ways have I just shown you how to do it? 3 different ways. That's all. Well, I'm just showing you how to use your calculator.
Wait, how do you do the first one again?
The cube root is on the calculator. Now, the reason why the cube root is on there, because you use the cube root of lots. We don't usually use the 4th root or the 5th root or the 6th root, but it is possible. All right, so you have a decision. All right, so for number 6, all right, if you'll notice on the math program, there is no 5th root, right? So I want everybody to type in 5 first. Then go to math, and then 5, right? And then that'll do the 5th root of 243. And the 5th root of 243 is 3. All right, is everybody with me now? Now, I want to say this one more time, guys, because I do think the explanation is super important. Can someone tell me why the answer is 3? Why is the answer 3? Because 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is what? That's it. All right. If you were to take this 3 to the 5th power, what is it equal to? 243. So I'm trying to get you to understand that these are called inverse operation. Something to the 5th is the inverse of the 5th root. And the reason it's important is because it just gives you another tool to solve equations. All right? So now, on to number 7. Type that in for me. And I don't care how you type it in. Somebody said 7. Anybody else get 7? Now, I'm just telling you guys, we're going to be done here in a few minutes, right? And I want you to make sure you're understanding how to type it in the calculator. We're doing the practice together, and we'll have no homework, right? But you have to type it in the calculator. Is everybody good? I'm just saying, this is so simple. What?
Oh, sorry. So just what do you type in to get 7?
You type that in. 343. It's being raised to the power, right?
Oh,
So that's when you hit the caret button.
and then just put 1.
Okay? Now we're on number 8. Now, this one again requires parentheses because the whole thing is to the 1/16. I mean, the 1/16 is being raised to the 1/4 power. So everybody do that. And 0.5. Now I want it as a fraction though. So now I hit math, enter. Even though I know you know 0.5 is the same as 1/2. I'm just, again, trying to help you with the calculator. 1/2. You see how that is? I'm telling you, if you understand how to use the calculator, you have a big advantage over most people. A huge advantage. So I want everybody to look at number 8 and make sure we agree that the answer is 1/2. Now I also want to make sure when you get 0.5, I know you know it's 1/2, but you're practicing the calculator, math, enter. Colin, are you okay or not, Colin?
I'm trying to.
Will. Let him ask me. He needs to learn that.
60.
All right, here we go. Number 9. Everybody type in number 9.
Wait, is 0.5?
Yes.
No, 49.
And then, Colin, hit math, enter, because I want you to type it as a fraction. Okay? Now get on number 9, Colin, and catch up with me.
Okay.
Allison, you good? Everybody? All right. Colin, did you get 49 for that?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
All right. Number 10. Let's just keep going. Number 10.
That's 27.
Is that right, guys? 27? Does everybody agree with me? Simple, right? 27. And then finally number 11. Now without the repetition though, guys, it doesn't get into your memory. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You do the problems. Type in on the calculator. 1296. Is everybody happy with that? 1296. And last one. You're going to make a mistake if you don't put it in parentheses. 1296. Did you get that, Colin, or not?
I'm just behind on the one.
Okay, well, I'll wait for a second for you, Colin. You just get caught up and make sure you're typing it on your calculator. Will, you know what you're doing? Do you have a calculator, Will?
Yes.
Okay, so you know what you're doing. You can help him. I appreciate you helping him. Colin, if you have a question, he seems to know what he's got it, right?
Oh, no, I was just helping him with it.
I know I'm asking you. You understand what we're doing, right? Yeah, so you're good.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No.
1 over 343 is
Did anybody else get 1 over 343? 1 over 343. Allison, you good?
Yeah.
Kate, you still with me, right? With which one now, Allison? Remember, or Kate, remember what I told you? I want you to speak up whenever you're behind. So tell me, which one are you at? Okay, so I'm waiting for you, or did you not get that? Okay, so the reason why you didn't get it is probably because you didn't put in the parentheses. Okay, so put in the parentheses this time. And if you get a decimal, remember, to get a decimal, you change it to a fraction by hitting math, enter, enter. Right? Okay, so let me see if you got it this time. No. Did you get it yet? Well, I appreciate your help, honestly. Are you hitting the caret button? Let me see what you're typing. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, so here's what you're calculating. This 3 over 2 for yours is a little older version, I think, because it's raising it to the third and then dividing by 2. That's what I'm trying to say. You're not doing anything wrong. Right? That's what I'm saying. The calculators are very different. So the newer versions, let me show you yours. Let me show you what's going on, and then you can kind of see exactly. So if I do second enter again, see how his keeps the 3 over 2 in the exponent, right? Yours is raising it to the third power and then dividing it by 2. Okay, so here's how you have to combat that. You have to go parentheses. No, here, do this. Let's just do this. Did you know you can go second enter? Okay, did you see that? Now you come over here. Parentheses. 3 divided by 2. You've done that. So your calculator has to put the fractions in parentheses. You've done this. Now enter. Math, enter, enter. That's what I'm saying. All the calculators are a little bit different. All right, the calculators are a little bit different. That's why I'm saying it's important for you to understand how to use your own calculator, because there's different versions. And what they do is they update it. People give them suggestions. This would be better if we did it this way, or it would be better if we did it this way. So they're constantly changing, so it's easier to do the math. All right? These are super, super powerful. Super powerful. All right, now listen, guys. We're not doing 13 through 16. All right, so now I'm just going to talk to you about 17 real quick. How do I write 17 as a radical? You're not giving me the answer, you're just rewriting it as a radical. You're supposed to be able to tell me 15 to the 1/2 is the same as square root of 15. That's what you're supposed to be able to tell me. Okay? 18. How would I write that? Square root of 24. Good job. And then 19 would be, now you got to be careful with this one. It's just what? Just k is being the square root. So the answer is what, though? Come on, write it. 4, and then square root of k. Does everybody understand that? The 4 does not have a square root. Does everybody hear me? But the k is square root. All right? Now, does everybody see how this is in parentheses? So now, is the 12 under the square root? Yes. So this is the same as the square root of 12y. Is that making sense? Am I making sense? Because again, like I said, this is not really math. It's just you have to be able to translate from one to the other. Right? And the more advanced we get, the less we deal with the radical sign and we deal with the exponents. All right? So now we're going the other direction. So square root of 26 is the same as 26 to the 1/2 power. That is correct. All right? And 44 would be, square root of 44 would be written as what? 44 to the 1/2. And then 23 would be what? Yes, that's correct. AB to the 1/2, not the what? Not the 2. But you would still write it as 2 parentheses AB to the 1/2. Right? Now I also want to show you how you could write it this way too to make sure you're hearing me. 2a to the 1/2, b to the 1/2. Everybody understand that? Is everybody good with this? And then 24, I could write that as what?
In parentheses, 3x, y, z, to the 1/2 down.
To the 1/2. That's exactly correct. All right, now your job is to say, hey, I'm not sure about that, but I think that's pretty easy, right? There's nothing hard about that. That's just understanding just a basic rule. All right, anybody have any issues on this? Any issues on that? All right, now your job right now, believe it or not, is just to knock out 25 through 44 really fast using your calculator. All right, and I'm just going to leave it up here on the board, right? And I'm expecting you guys to do that. I'm going to put it on pause, then I'll go around the room and you can just tell me what the answer is. I'll give you like 5 minutes. That should be enough time to do that. The other thing is, listen, guys, I did think this week was a really good week outside this little outburst I had at the beginning of class. Guys, I don't like picking on people. I don't like it. You know, everybody's weird, a little bit weird. All right? We could nitpick everybody. Just leave people alone. If they're not in the room, don't talk about them. Right? No one, I mean, the sermon we listened to on Wednesday was brilliant. Really and truly, she said, no one really cares about you. No one's thinking about you. Oh my gosh. You go home and this person's picking on me. Not really. It's just trying to grow up. That's it. Leave people alone. All right? Don't talk about somebody if they're not in the room. All right? I don't like it. All right, at all. All right, especially when it involves singing in chapel, for goodness sakes. You should be singing loud in chapel. All right? I don't like that. All right, leave them alone. All right? Be nice. All right? Now, like I said, it was a start over. Tell me, cube root of 8 is what?
2.
2. Perfect. Fifth root of 1024. Mr. Genuine.
That would be, that would be, my bad, sorry. 32?
I don't think
my
so.
bad, I see what I messed up, sorry.
Come on.
Let's see.
Put in 1024 raised to the 1/5 power. Thank you.
Sorry.
Colin, 27.
All right, 27.
What's the cube root of 216?
It is 6.
6. Thank you. Jack, number 28. 10. Good. You guys checking your work now, right? Ben, 29.
I got 0.1.
Good. 30.
I got
2/3. 31. Kate. Well, we're waiting on you. Yes, good job. Come on now. I want everybody doing them. All right? 32 is where I'm at. Julia, you're up. 32. No, I don't think so.
I got 2.
Shh, no one's asking you. Type it again on your calculator, Julia. 2. All right, Max, 33. Can you not see it?
I got it.
15. Good. 34. Allison.
2.
job, girl. 35. Go ahead, Jess. 1/3. Good job. Emily. Yep, we'll wait for you. It's not a big deal. Okay, so do parentheses. And then 3125 divided by 32. Close the parentheses. Raised to the 1 divided by 5. And then math, enter.
Wait, how do you do the exponents?
1 divided by 32. Close parentheses. Carrots. 1 divided by 5. Math, enter.
5.
Yep, 5/2. All right, 37, Jake.
I got 4.
4, good. Jack, 38. Thank you. William,
Um,
I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you.
two 44.
Everybody okay? Come on now, again, listen, some of you, I get upset because I don't want you writing down 243. I want you to type it in on your own calculator and get 243. Ben, 40.
I'll just do this one.
We're waiting. Good job. Colin, 41.
All right. 41. It would be 625.
Thank you, sir. 625. Okay, Jack, 42.
60,800.
How much? I didn't hear.
16,800.
Like that? And Max.
What, 027?
Math, enter.
27.
Yes, 27/1000. Okay, last one. Julia.
Oh.
I kind of wanted you checking your work as we're going here, Julia. I can't hear you. Say it again.
16,600.
Yeah, very good. 16/625. Very good. All right, now remember, that's all. All right, that's what you're supposed to be doing. All right, now I want to tell you what's coming up for next week just to make sure you're good. So put your eyes up here. Eyes up, eyes up. Now, I don't really think you're going to be able to finish all the IXL on Monday. All right, so I want you to make a note right now, because that's what you're starting right now. I have Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, Y5, smart score 90. I know some of you have already done this in the past. I think we did some over the summer. All right, so your score might be at a 70 already. All you got to do is jump it up to a 90. It should be much easier. At one point, we had problems with the negative exponents. That's why there was an issue. But now you've learned the negative exponents, so it should be very easy. All right, does everybody hear what I'm saying? All right, over the weekend, hear me, listen. Make yourself a note. Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, Y5. We're supposed to have those up to a 90. You're not going to have time on Monday to finish them all, right? So it'd be good right now to just practice and get some work done. All right? So that's what I want you doing right now until the bell rings, which is not that much time. And on Monday, we're going to finish this. Tuesday, we have a review. Wednesday, we have finishing up the review. And then Thursday, I think, is our last test for the semester. We'll reintroduce some new material and then get ready for our exams. All right? Anybody have any questions?
So just like try to get most of those done.
No, I didn't say that. Work on it some over the weekend.
Okay. Oh.
Do what you can
Because we
do.
won't have enough
Yeah.
time on it.
You're not going to be able to finish on Monday, but I'm just saying right now, get started. All right? Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, Y5. Just try it. All right?